Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another local newsletter breakdown. We're going to do things slightly differently in this series because I've been showing you a lot of high-level newsletters, local newsletters that have been around for a while. What I want to show you in this newsletter breakdown is actually a very simple, very clean newsletter, the kind of newsletter structure that you could copy for your very first newsletter. I don't want you to be intimidated by all the fancy stuff that you can do. Let's really break it down. Let's get into the nuts and bolts so you're really clear on what your minimum viable product, what is the most basic newsletter that you need to send out looks like. So this is the Cookville Buzz. This is based in Tennessee. Now, I've gone over very quickly into ChatGPT and said, hey, ChatGPT, I'm thinking of starting a local newsletter in this location. Tell me a bit about it. You could change that to, I'm thinking about moving to this area. Tell me a bit about it. And ChatGPT will do exactly that. Now, you probably want to start a local newsletter in your area, but there are a few things that we look for to make sure that it is a good idea. And one of those is population size. And I'll get to that in a second. If you want to start a local newsletter somewhere else, so far away from where you live, then I do have a tool that helps you to assess whether that's the right place to pick or not. So just put the word location into the comments and I can point you in the direction of that. But the first thing it's done is broken down the population, which is 35,000 in the city and then 113,000 in the county. It's small, but the thing I like about this is it's growing. And this is big enough to start a local newsletter. There are six-figure local newsletters out there. People making 6 figures a year from their local newsletter with a population size like this. Plus, if you are a local business owner, just imagine if you could just get in front of half of this, a third of this population in the city every single week for free once you've acquired those subscribers. Or you can pitch that to another local business. So we can see the local vibe, tight-knit community, families, students, retirees. So these are the kind of people that we're going to be writing for. And then it just goes through and breaks down the area and what's going on. So local newsletter should have event happenings, local business highlights, deals, promotions, community news, lifestyle and guides, and reader contributions. What I'm going to show you today is the simplest version of this newsletter. And then we'll do what we normally do. And we'll go through and we'll break this newsletter down into more and more detail. So we've got the tagline here, weekly emails with upcoming events, kids activities, business highlights, and local giveaways, which is great and ties in with the content ideas that ChatGPT has suggested for us. Nice and clean, nice simple logo, and you can easily create this with AI. Go down into the archive, you can see that they are posting once a week, which is all you need to do with your local newsletter. Go in, we see that we've got an introduction, nice and quick. Then we go straight into the events. Okay, so they've got the event here, link so you can click out and read more about it. We've got the information, we've got the location, we've got the day, and the time and the cost, and we've got the name of it as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, and then we get the buzzworthy lineup, which looks like it's more music based, exactly the same format, which is great to see that consistency so people know what they're getting. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, and then a sign off. You don't need to get any more complicated than this. The only thing I'd be adding in is I'd be getting a sponsor as soon as possible, even if they're not paying me at the beginning. So people are used to seeing a sponsorship at the top. And if you are a local business owner, you can put your business at the top. Even if you've only got 30 subscribers, that's 30 people seeing your business every single week that might want to hire you. But even if you don't own a business, you probably know somebody, a friend, family member, a neighbor that has a business that you could put at the top of this. And then you would be able to get some clicks and start getting some data. So let me show you exactly how I would create this newsletter. I'll show you how quick it is. And then, like I said, in future videos in this series, we'll go through their welcome emails and all those kind of things we normally do. So what I want to show you here is our tool that we use to write events. So all of this, you don't have to go out there and try and find it yourself. This tool will do it for you. All you have to do is put in the country. At the moment, it's got US and UK, but if you're somewhere else in the world and you'd like us to add the country, just put it in the comments where your location is. Tell us what you need and we can add it. Then you put the city. So I put in this city here that we're covering, Cookville. Then what you do is you put the state. So Cookville is in Tennessee, and then you put the date range. So I put the last 30 days, and this has found 111 events going on in the next 30 days. If I change this and I do this weekend, I can hit search. It's going to go away and find me those events. So there you have it, nice and quickly, 39 events happening this Friday, Saturday or Sunday that I could include in my newsletter. Red just means it didn't find any events. Now on top of this, you don't just have to use our tool, but you can add RSS feeds. And without going into too much detail to complicate this, basically, if you find a website that has got lots of events, so maybe there's a city website or maybe there's a tourism website that has lots of events on it, you can add that via an RSS feed, and then that will also be included in your newsletter that this tool is going to write for you. So 39 events found. If I scroll down, you can see here it's got Friday. These are all the events it's found for Friday. Then we go down, these are all the ones for Saturday. Then we go down, and these are, where are they? There we go. They're all the ones for Sunday. So all we need to do now is click on some of these and we'll be able to add them to our newsletter. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I've just scanned through all 39 events. I picked out 8 that I'm going to include, and then all I need to do is hit generate newsletter. Now, the other thing you can do within our tool is you can give it a prompt. So you'll remember that when we went into this newsletter, it had a little bit of an introduction and it had this little sign off at the end. Well, what you can do is you can tell the AI some information about what you'd like to include in those 2 parts, and it will write it for you. So, for example, you could include your name, you can include some of your interests, you can tell it the way you want to write, so be serious or use humor. You might want it to mention your business. And then what you would do is inside whatever tool you're using, you can use Cookville or you can use Beehive. I'll leave a link to both of those down in the description. You can check them out. But what you'd be able to do is then you'd be able to just add a couple of sentences to personalize it for that week. And then this section is done, and this section at the bottom is done as well, all by AI. So as a default, we have organize events by date with each day as a section header, use emojis for categories, and then it will automatically spin you up an introduction and sort of like a final couple of sentences. But like I said, if you want it to sign off with your name or you have anything specific that you want to do or mention, then that's where you can put that. And if you go into settings, you can set that so you don't have to edit this every single time. You could have sort of a skeleton to it. And then what you could do is you could just, if you're a realtor, you could say something like, this week I had 2 really successful open houses. Please mention this in the introduction. Maybe you write about your cat or whatever it is. You can add that in there. So just personalized for the week. And then all you're going to do is hit generate. And just like that, our newsletter has been generated. So just like this one here, we've got the dates and the introduction at the top. That's exactly what you've got here. Then we've got all of the events in this newsletter. We've got exactly the same. Oh, hang on a second. There we go. We've got exactly the same here. Okay, so we've got the name, we've got the time, we've got the venue, we've got price, all the information here. And then if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can see the sign off, which is just the same as what you've got down the bottom here. So everything done in just a couple of quick clicks. Then You can download it in different formats, or you can just copy it and then paste it straight into whatever editor you're going to use in order to send out your local newsletter. And that's it. That's this week's newsletter written exactly like this. And if you want to get to the point where you're adding in more things, weather, news, if we go back to what ChatGPT was telling us about, deals and promotions, community news, that's really easy to find with AI. Lifestyle and guides are something maybe you could build up and write over, a couple of weeks and then publish it. Reader contributions, you can just put a sentence at the bottom of your newsletter, ask people to reply with what they've got going on, and then you can just cut and paste that in. Local business highlights, talk to business owners, start conversations with them, get them into your newsletter. But the point is, the first 10, 15, which is going to buy you the first 2-3 months of running your local newsletter, you don't have to do all of this. You can just use this tool here to write your newsletter, copy it across, and then free yourself up with a ton of time to start building out the other aspects of your local newsletter. So I'll leave a link to this newsletter as well down in the description so you can check it out in more detail. In the next video, we'll sign up, we'll look at their welcome flow, we'll look at their social media as well, we'll look at everything else that they've got going on so that we can learn from this local newsletter, but solely with the focus of you being a beginner, this being your first newsletter, and you want to keep things as simple as possible from day one. I'll see you in the next video.